Hey modders, welcome back to ModifedRoll. Don't forget we're sponsored by DM Dice. Check out the link to their website in our description, or head over to dmdice.co.uk and use the code ModifedRoll for 10% off all purchases. In the last episode, the party successfully defended the town against the would-be invaders. After investigating their attackers, they settled in for an evening of revelry that was well deserved. But with the threat still looming, what will the party do next? Find out now in episode 9 of season 2 of ModifedRoll. Wish upon a falling star. You all awaken in Steel Talon's hearth, in the inn where you've spent the night. Fully rested, fully recovered from the day before, well, the couple of days you've had. What do you all do when you wake up in the morning?
Oh, I've got such a headache, guys.
Too much twerking and drinking.
Yeah, what was I drinking last night?
Anything that they gave you, I think.
Yeah, Sinclair will sort of open a sleepy eye. Stop talking so loud.
I'm still asleep.
Passed out. So who do you think then would be the first one downstairs in the morning?
Twilight, not me.
Yeah, me. I'm gonna head down. Gonna stomp down the stairs just because everyone's gonna be hanging. See if I can wake anyone up.
Feel every stomp.
Yeah, you guys can just boom, 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 boom.
Just humming, because Twilight didn't drink. And I'm gonna see if there's a barkeeper around or someone I can ask about breakfast.
So I don't know if you guys could hear that being picked up on it, but somebody is making a lot of noise outside. Anyway, yeah, Jen, funnily enough, Jen, the innkeeper who was working last night, is already up. She's wiping down the bar. You can smell food wafting from the kitchen. And sat in the tavern itself, you can see Malkiel and a couple of other people dressed sort of, they're not dressed like nobles, but they are dressed fairly well. You imagine these are probably more merchants, much like himself. They have several papers in front of them, and every so often a messenger will come in. They'll send him out with another note.
Okay, I'm going to go up to Jen.
Mm-hmm.
And just, hi, I don't know if you guys do room service or I can carry stuff up, but I'd just like to inquire about breakfast.
Jen just smiles and says, of course, I can send food up for you and the rest of your party as soon as it's ready.
Amazing. That would be great. How much would that be?
It's on us. For the defenders of the town, it's on us. It's the least we can do. And just for the record, probably the reason a lot of you are hanging is you guys would not have spent a penny on drinks last night.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, boy.
I'll just smile at her and then be like, thank you so much, and then run back up the stairs and jump on the bed.
Oh.
Morning.
Who would hit her first?
Juliana's just clutching her head and rocking. She's in the fetal position and she's rocking back and forth, crying.
I'm gonna throw a pillow.
Hey, I just went and sorted us breakfast.
I'm on 16 on that.
Oh, a 16, Jesus. What's my armor class? I think my armor class
I can assume you're
not
not wearing
16.
You're also
15.
not wearing armor at this point. Unless you slept in your armor, you're not wearing armor.
No, I am not.
Yeah, the pillow catches you full in the face.
Oh. Is that any way to treat your saviour who just went and organised breakfast for you all?
Don't say breakfast.
This is getting too real.
Is a scare set of chain reaction? Because Sinclair.
No, let's not bring any of that up. Let's not destroy this nice room.
Eventually, after you all smother Twilight, I imagine, there's some food brought up. Plenty of water. They bring up tankards of water and a big jug to refill, and they bring up, bacon, sausages, some fried breads, just lots of stodgy, good hangover food. And we'll not belabor and go over the struggle it is to keep food down. You you manage to get up, you eat, you refresh yourselves with some water. I imagine some of you probably have a wash, and eventually, we'll not say exactly what time, but eventually, you all make it downstairs into the tavern. And as Twilight had previously seen, Malkiel is still there. It appears that from when you were last down, Twilight, that a couple of the other people who were with him have now swapped out for different people, but there's still Malkiel and a group of what appear to be merchants in a booth, sort of dealing with paperwork. And they all sort of, Malkiel raises a head and waves as you all come down the stairs.
Good morning, Malkiel.
Good morning. I can see you're all a little worse for wear. I can't say I'm surprised.
No, we're in tip-top condition.
Professional group of people.
Oh, why is it so bright?
It's not even a particularly sunny day. It's quite cloudy out there. You're still struggling to
the
see.
cast. You're like,
You just nod. But yes, I imagine you probably won't be setting out immediately. But as discussed yesterday, we hope that you'll be able to head on to Keyrn and speak to the nobles there and see if you can figure out exactly what's happened. And he reaches down to the table and pulls up a sealed letter and hands it to you, Sinclair, since you were the one who first spoke to him. This is a letter for the nobles of Keyrn. You could hand it to any of them. It's essentially a recounting of what happened from us, signed by several members of the Guild of Merchants here to, give some weight to whatever you decide to tell them. They will be more likely to believe you with this.
Excellent, thank you. That will certainly help us in finding who we need to speak to.
Of course. For your benefit, in Keyrn there are four of the larger noble houses who essentially run the logistics of the town itself. Similar to here, obviously the merchants will run most of the, day-to-day goings on, but the nobles will handle taxes, protection of the city, and all of that. There are four major houses represented there: Harlow, White, Asper, and Fennec. Yes, if you seek any of them out on arrival, they will be able to, I can only hope they'll be able to assist in some way.
Well, let's hope that they aren't all wearing brand new shiny rings. She's going to hold up her fingers, in a crossed motion.
You can see him turn a very similar shade to Sinclair at the thought of the nobles all being involved in this, and he swallows and says, "Yes, we can only hope."
Well, we should probably make a move.
yeah, let's go, guys, out into the bright, shiny, loud world.
How are we going to get to this place?
So, if you ask that, Keyrn is at most a week's travel to the north. There's a major road that takes you there as you head up towards the more hilly, mountainous region. If you just stay on that path, you'll eventually arrive directly at Keyrn.
So we've got a week to sober up. Cool.
Oh.
We can, of course, spare a couple of horses and a wagon if that would assist.
That would be very helpful. Thank you very much. I don't think I could face the walk, if I'm being honest.
That time period he's giving you about the week's travel was assuming horse and wagon. Not you won't all be on horses, but the horse and wagon will obviously help with anything you're taking with you.
Does anybody need anything else before we set off?
I don't think so.
I wonder if maybe we didn't do it yesterday because we were partying like animals, but
You were very much partying like animals.
yes, indeed. I wonder if maybe we should. I assume the sorcerer's body is around. Why don't we check, see if he has anything on him?
So you guys did already do the inspection, and all you found was the. I think he was wearing an amulet on a necklace type thing. He didn't really have any
Cut
other
that bit
effect.
then. Excellent.
We already did that
forgot, 'cause
yesterday.
I didn't write a note.
That was when you found out he had gills.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Fisherman, yeah.
I can tell you
Yes,
guys
the
don't
seaman.
re-listen to the episodes after I put them up.
Well, we just have fish brains. That's the thing.
No, it's the hangover.
Yeah.
Twilight does not have the intelligence to remember anything.
That's your meta excuse for not re-listening to the pod. Well, Twilight wouldn't remember, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
Yeah, well, I write like in character notes too, which is why I have random things written, like pigeons and other stuff, but not like actual plot.
Sorcerer has gills.
Yeah, I put sorcerer equals seaman, so
Of course you did.
Oh my gosh, guys, this is a serious question right now. Is the place we're going underwater? Do we all need gills? How are we going to get there? Do we need to swim?
I don't think one of the major cities of the region is underwater, but
I'd also like to point out that Malkiel just talked about the mountainous, hilly region you'd be heading to.
Well, there's mountains underwater. Is there not?
A solid argument. No, you're aware. You've heard of Keyrn before in like your lessons and stuff. It is a city that's situated in the middle of a sort of pass or a ravine carved between a set of mountains, which separates this larger part of the continent from a more arid, sort of deserty region to the north.
Sounds lovely.
fabulous. Well, I reckon we should get on our way, right?
Yes.
I think so.
sounds like a plan.
Try and get this protection for the keep.
Yeah, genuine question though. Does everyone have like enough?
I think
Stuff.
they do.
You guys will be. They will whenever they pull the horses and wagon round, it will be filled with like the basic necessities. So there'll be some dried food and water skeins and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Rations.
Jordan, did you say I don't need to keep buying arrows?
Yes, I've said unless there's like a very specific situation where like you guys are away from civilization for longer than like a week, then I might make you track them. But on generally, we're going to assume that you can get access to arrows,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's like local villages and stuff are going to have fletchers who can make arrows. Like it's not a full blown survival campaign in that way, unless of course you guys put yourselves in a situation where, for example, I just mentioned that like arid deserty region. If you guys decide we're going to go to the arid deserty region, it's like, right, well, you're not going to run into a village every couple of days, in which case I'm going to tell you, start tracking your arrows.
Shall I go to the desert then?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't need any supplies or anything. I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I should be
got
good
all-
as well.
I've got checked on my equipment. I'm fine.
Good.
You guys get all of your stuff from the inn. Obviously, they refuse any payment for any additional like food or lodgings or anything. And when you come outside, there's somebody who's already pulling the wagon and horses around for you to begin loading up. At this point, go on.
We should all name our horses.
And like I said, you've only got 2 horses pulling the wagon. Each of you don't have a horse. They couldn't afford to give you a horse.
We should name the 2
horse
horses that
could
we
not
have.
support Sinclair. I want to put that out there.
You'd be like General Radahn in Elden Ring.
Yes.
Well, either way, we should all
name the two
our
horses,
2
yeah.
horses.
Oh my god, what can we call them? Pressure.
Joe, I'll let you think about that for a second, because as you're outside loading up, a messenger sort of runs up to Malkiel and has a quick exchange with him while you guys are getting ready and checking the horses, checking the tack and everything. And Malkiel steps forward and says, before you all head off, just some news that we've been brought. Obviously, the soldiers and guards yesterday, they seem to have 2 very different reactions whenever you did what you did in the keep. We've noticed that the guards who are working the walls are starting to come to. They aren't suffering in a similar way that the soldiers were. So if you guys remember, whenever before the sorcerer arrived, there were people in various levels of this sort of like disorientation. There was the ones who were just like sitting there holding their heads and couldn't really react, and there were ones who were like comatose after the fact. He explains that some of the guards who were like more just so complaining about sore heads and not being able to think straight, they're starting to come to, and the effects seem to be wearing off of them. We don't know much more about what's happening. All we know is that a few of them have started to come around. They're starting to speak. They're asking what's happened, Apparently their memories are very hazy and very foggy of the last few months, but they feel different. They've told us something has changed, and we haven't been able to get much more information out of them, but we thought you should know before you left.
Treat them gently as they come round, and the main thing to do is tell them the truth about what happened here.
Do we not think that we should take them back with us?
These were the
people from here.
Yeah, these aren't the ones who came in the sorcerer. These were like the guards who were working the wall. So like, if you remember, you guys had like an interaction with one at the front gate who was like constantly like, my fucking head type. These were different from the soldiers who were just like stone-faced, did what they were told, didn't have any reactions.
Well, cool. That's good to know. Good to know that it's not permanent.
Yes, that is reassuring.
But yeah, has anyone come up with a name for their horses yet?
What colour are the horses?
This is good.
I'm going to say one, I don't know how to describe horse colours, but we'll say one is like white and black, and the other's like a dappled brown. I think dappled's the correct word to use.
Yes.
Okay, so I have the perfect name for the did you say brown?
Yeah.
Like a dappled brown, yeah.
Yeah, for the brown one, I'm thinking maple stirrup.
Yes! Perfect.
I'm not sure about the other one now. I'll let everyone else choose the other one's name. But maple stirrup, I think, is
Maple stirrup.
a good name.
Love maple stirrup. I would die for maple stirrup.
I would die for maple stirrup.
What's the other one? The other one's black and white.
Ooh. I can think of a good one. Wait. Someone else think. Quick.
Patches.
I like Patches.
Yeah, Patches.
Patches and maple stirrup. What a great duo.
Patches and maple stirrup.
Maple stirrup.
Yeah, so you guys stand in front of the horses, give them their names after Malkiel has told you this news about the guards. And as you've been getting ready and having this discussion, more and more people have come out, and as you're getting ready, people are coming up thanking you for what you've done, and a crowd begins to gather. And as you sort of load up and set off, a crowd of people are still like waving you. Children are running along beside the wagon as you leave until you get to the gate of the city, and the people are waving as you head off to the north. What are each of you thinking as you leave the gate and you have these people sort of cheering for you and waving for you as you leave?
I mean, who's driving the cart, first of all?
None of us. We're all at the back.
You're all in the back of the wagon. I was like, who's driving the cart? Oh, no!
Drives off a ravine. They just watch us plunge to our death. Yeah. Twilight's obviously going to be waving and like being Twilight. She's going to just be thinking about how different the town was when they arrived, and how it's amazing that like what they've done in a few days, and how she wants to write about it.
I know it was a sort of like a funny question from Sarah, but genuinely, who is driving the car? It's not going to make it. You're on a dirt road at the minute. I'm not going to like make anyone do any rolls. I just want to know.
Does anybody actually have the cart driving
proficiency?
No,
I don't.
No, oh dear. Okay, if we get into trouble, that's going to be fun.
I'll give it a go.
It's only going to be an issue whenever it comes down to it. But
I'll try.
I think you two are a bit too hungover. Maybe we should have a designated driver while you two sober.
Twilight's not flipping driving. I'll tell you that for free.
I was about to say I don't want to, but also I'm glad that I have the vote of no confidence.
Not for driving
into a ravine. Yeah, we would be like, oh look, a waterfall. Oh, we're going over it. Oh.
Should I jump on?
Yeah, I think for now we'll say that Kazizel being the only fully fully sober one who isn't Twilight is driving.
How's your animal handling, Kaz?
I've got a +1 on animal handling.
Better than me. I've got -1, so I'm not driving it.
Well, I've got a +2, guys.
Actually, just for listeners in general, there are vehicle proficiencies. So there's land vehicle proficiency and sea vehicle proficiency, and I think in certain settings, maybe even air vehicle proficiency.
Oh.
It's just not only like a tool proficiency, like blacksmithing tools. So up until I think it was either Xanathar's or Tasha's, it was Xanathar's where they kind of went into how to use tool proficiencies more, that it was just kind of assumed that if you're proficient in driving a cart, you get to add a check or add your proficiency to whatever check you're making. So It's just one of those little things. But yeah, vehicle proficiencies for land, sea, and air, I'm pretty sure.
Cool.
But obviously none of you guys have that, so it doesn't make a difference. So obviously we've got Twilight's thoughts, so Sinclair, what are you thinking as you leave the town?
Yeah, Sinclair is looking at the town, thinking much the same, but looking at the town in the case that this is the path that Paylor has led him to, and this is the path that he deems is right and that he should be on, and he doesn't know where it'll take him, but he will follow that path as long as he can.
What about Giliana?
I think Ileana's thinking about how that was such a great start to her journey. That she's feeling great that it's ended on a high, and that they actually feel like they've accomplished something, and she feels a lot better about like being in a team, and how everyone's bonding and everyone's relationships are getting better, because it was a bit of a rocky start, and I think she had a bit of anxiety about that, but now she feels a lot more confident within her group. So she's just feeling really good, and she's feeling positive about what's ahead of them.
And Casiso, what's he thinking as he drives the cart heading north out of the city?
Cecil's probably feeling a bit more reassured after the experience he would have had last night with the dream. He's still a little shaken up about the fight in the keep, almost dying, but he's feeling a bit more confident. He's moving past that again. The dream kind of helped, and he may still be questioning things, but he's feeling like this is what he's meant to do. He's doing the right thing.
Yeah, sounds good. So we're going to now do something that I've stolen from Help Action. We're going to start using what are called danger numbers.
That sounds
So
fun.
we're going to say that you... So this is going to be, instead of rolling for a random encounter, what's going to happen is... I've said this before, but I think I've already said previously we'd use the standard Faerunian system, so a week is about 10 day. So we're going to say it's going to take you, I think he said just shy of a week, so we'll say 8 to 9 days, depending on what trouble you run into, to get from here to Keyrn. So each of you are going to pick 8 numbers between 1 and 100, and you can't pick the same number as anyone else.
Oh no.
So going in order, looking at my Zencaster screen, Twilight, can you pick me 8 numbers between 1 and 100, please?
Okay. 3.
Yep.
69.
Nice.
Damn it, I wanted that one.
100.
Yep.
15.
Yep.
12.
Mm-hmm. We'll say 5 each, because
Okay.
otherwise we're going to be here all day.
So how many was that?
That was 5. So that was
Fantastic,
5.
cool.
Giliana, 5 danger numbers, please.
I'll pick 8.
Yep.
18.
Yep.
28.
Yep.
88.
Yep.
And 38.
Okay. Casiso, 5 numbers, please, between 1 and 100 that aren't any of those.
13.
Yep.
25.
Yep.
70.
Yep.
95.
Yep.
And 1.
Lovely. Sinclair.
26.
Yep.
4.
Yep.
96.
Mm-hmm.
82.
Mm-hmm. And one more.
55.
55. Lovely. So now you've all picked your danger numbers. What I'm going to do is each day, I'm just going to roll once on a D100, and we're going to see if we hit any of your danger numbers. Actually, Joe, I'll tell a lie. We'll do it twice. Once for during the day, once for the night. So, first day, as you're traveling along, you are heading through, like I said before, Knight's Valor sort of set in and around farmland. So it's relatively flat land. You've got the river sort of off to your east, coming down, traveling down from the north, and you're sort of following the same direction as that. So, day 1. Oh, do you know, I was so... Yeah, when you were giving me your numbers and you were like 8, 18, 28, 88, I thought you were going to say, and 98. I just rolled 98, but you didn't pick that one, so I'm really annoyed.
Wow.
So your first day goes completely uneventfully, and you set up camp for the night just off the side of the road. So that night goes completely uneventfully as well. I'm just going to roll a couple here and just get this nice and quick. On the second night, so you've been traveling for 2 days now. It's been relatively quiet. You've passed a few farmers. You've, for the most, been mostly uneventful. Now, what I had done was pre-rolled a bunch of random encounters. Okay. On the second night, as you set up camp, you've got like a little copse of trees off by the side of the road, and you've made a little campsite inside there. What order would you guys be taking watch in?
Well, I don't need to sleep, so I think I need like an hour. So
It's 4 hours.
4.
Yeah, because you can trance, can't you?
Yeah. So I don't know.
I mean, essentially, you could essentially do half of the watches then, and it would just be 2 other people if you wanted, or you can have just your 4 hours of sleeping. I mean, there are 4 of you. You could still just split the watch 4 ways if you want.
Yeah.
And we'll just say that you're awake for 2 of those watch slots.
Let's say Sinclair takes the first watch.
Okay, second.
Caesar will take the second.
Okay, third.
I'll take the third.
We're saying, Gillian, are you going to say that you're awake for the third and fourth, or do you want to do like...
I'll do third and fourth.
Cool.
Yeah, makes
So-
sense to you to have your watch with mine as well, because I do not know how perceptive I'm going to be.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll take watch together, and then you have the last watch.
Okay, so as everyone beds down for the night, I think I said this was set sort of summertime, so it gets dark relatively late. The sun is just fully below the horizon in your watch, Sinclair. Everyone else has just sort of gotten off to sleep. And as you're sat leaning back, the sunlight fading from the sky as it continually darkens, you start to see shooting stars, meteors, sort of flashing across the sky. And then it becomes thicker and heavier, and there's more of them, and they're flashing and flashing and flashing. And then one right across your vision comes crashing down a couple of miles to the west of you. The rest of you are all woken by the sound of this crash, and you all wake up and you still see this meteor shower flying across the sky.
What was that?
I don't want to alarm you all. I know you've just woken up.
As you're saying that, I'm pulling up my hand axe.
Everyone's alarmed.
But the sky is falling.
I don't want to alarm you.
It's falling!
I would prepare yourself, and let's go and have a little look into what's just fallen.
I'm ready.
So, bear in mind, I did say it's a couple of miles, so you're not just going to like walk up to this thing. It's going to be a bit of time to get there.
Not
So
ready yet.
this is that's why I'm giving you I'm just warning you, because you guys would know in character. If you guys go and investigate this, you're not going to get a full rest tonight. That's the trade-off.
Let's do
Uh,
it.
oh.
We're fine.
Yeah, all right, let's go for it.
All right, yeah, let's go.
You immediately pack up the camp that you only set up a couple of hours ago. You get into the wagon and you head off along the nearest sort of trail. It's not even a full road at this point. It's a little trail. It heads off past this copse and you travel west. And eventually, in the dark, I'm assuming some of you guys have dark vision and stuff.
I do, yeah.
Who
Yeah, I
doesn't?
think I do. Yeah, I do. 300 feet.
Gosh, do I?
300 feet?
Yeah, tiefling vibes. And also, I think all my powers come from the night as well.
Jeez. I don't have that far.
Yes, I do have dark vision.
I don't.
Yeah, I was going to say Dragonborn are the weird ones that they don't.
Yeah.
So, yeah, are you sort of like, would you light a torch, or are you just going to rely on everyone else to see what's happening?
I'd light a torch so I can see.
Okay. And just sort of, again, not really going to matter, but has Gilliana taken over the reins at this point, or are you just letting Cazisel drive still?
Oh, yeah, no, I'll drive.
I was going to say, 'cause that way you're not relying on someone
Yeah, we don't want someone who doesn't have dark vision driving. Yeah.
So as you head up the road in the pitch black, well, I'll say pitch black, like I've already said, the stars are flashing across the sky. There's plenty of light to sort of see by for the most part. You eventually come across, well, in the distance, you start to see a faint glow of something like coals and embers almost. And as you get closer, there is a relatively decent-sized hole in the ground. Like, we're talking maybe 10 to 15 feet across. And there's like the warmth and the heat from this impact is still causing the ground to glow. And in the middle is what appears to be a large solid stone with a crack in the side of it. Can everyone give me a perception check?
Oh no.
Oh, we're off to a good start. That's a 19 for Sinclair.
Dirty 20 for me.
That is a 4 for Cecil.
Ooh, 15 for Gilliana.
Okay, anyone with 15 and above, which is pretty much everyone but Cecil,
Which tracks?
you can hear a theme.
Makes sense, I can't see.
Does he have?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, this one's actually a hearing perception, so I think you're probably just a bit preoccupied, but you can hear a scrambling from inside the shop.
Oh no! Shit.
What am I gonna do?
Oh god, scrambling. Oh no, this is gonna be some alien.
But I feel like, what if it's something that needs our help?
It could just be some scrambled eggs.
Alien scrambled eggs.
Green eggs and ham.
No,
It might need our help.
that isn't. Oh Jesus Christ. Well, maybe you should go and check.
Fine, okay.
When you guys get close, do you guys...
Would anyone tell me about this scrambling sound?
I'll go up and...
When you guys dismount,
Yeah.
well, as I say, when you guys arrive and you
Shit,
start hearing
maybe-
what's happening, are any of you dismounting from the wagon? Like, are you going to stay in the wagon? What are you doing?
I'm getting closer.
Sinclair's just going to stay there, jaw dropped. It's like, what the fuck is this?
I'm slowly approaching.
Yeah, we're
Okay,
going
I'll approach
slowly.
as well.
Okay. As you get
Cautiously.
as you get close, a clawed hand. Like
Oh,
you're not close enough for it to reach you. Like you're literally on the edge of the crater, so you're not even within like reaching distance of this thing yet. But a clawed hand protrudes. For those at home, Gilliana has just picked up a sword in real life on the webcam. Danny is now holding a sword. A clawed hand protrudes from the stone. So who's approached it? Was it just Deadly and Cecil?
Yes? Question mark?
Yeah. Cecil, did you say you're approaching it as well?
Yeah, I'm approaching.
Okay.
I'm not approaching. I've changed my mind. I'm not.
With seeing the clawed hand, I just grab
Sensibles wants to stay on the cart.
the clawed hand. I just reach for my axe.
Well, this is the thing. Before any of that, because you see this hand coming out, can the two of you make me another perception check, please?
Please.
15?
Okay.
It's 17.
Okay, the both of you immediately spot something very weird about this. The clawed hand hasn't like broken through the stone; it hasn't come out through the crack. This hand has moved through the stone of this fallen star,
Jesus.
and it's moved through water to reach out.
Water.
Do you, as
Get
this
back in the
happens,
car.
as this happens, I'm going to give you like each of you like a second to react. So each of you can take like one action here or one preparation before something else happens. The two of you in the car don't know this has happened. You can't even see the claw at this point.
It's quite nice tonight, isn't it? You know what? The meteor shower is really pretty, I think.
Yes, I must admit, I hope nothing bad's happening down there. You know, at
mean,
least
you
it's
guys are-
nice up
you're-
here.
You're close enough that you can see the two of those. Like these two are like on the edge of the crater. The wagon's just stopped a little bit back from all the disturbed earth. You can see these two. You just can't currently see down like into what's happening in the crater. You could just about make out the stone when you arrived.
So seeing this, I would be startled and almost fall back as I'm trying to take my step back.
Twilight, what would your reaction be?
Can I hold Sacred Flame?
Yeah,
Just
but
in case.
you have to give me a trigger for it.
If it starts running towards me.
Okay, that's a good trigger.
So the way that my spell casting works is, I like wave my hand and the stars appear and I like draw out a constellation.
Yeah.
So she'll draw all the constellation besides the last star and just kind of hover, waiting to press
I like
the last star.
I like that. The clawed hand, which is currently moved through the stone like water, puts its hand on the ground, and it almost appears to look like it's heaving something up. And from this inside of the stone stands a creature, which, in the dark, even with dark, almost actually no, because I'm going to assume you'd have brought a torch with you since you can't
Yeah.
see. Okay. The firelight from your torch washes over a body, which itself seems to be made of stone. This sort of clay red body. And as it stands up, you realize that this body is entirely different to any of the ones that you're sort of familiar with. It stands on 3 legs, pointing outward like a tripod.
What?
where you would expect the head of a body to be is instead a gaping mouth pointing upward, with an eye underneath it facing towards you, and protruding from 3 shoulders underneath the mouth are 3 long, apparently very strong-looking clawed arms. For our players, I'm just going to show. I'm going to try and cover up any of the names here and show you guys an image on the webcam.
Oh, Jesus!
Knew it would be one of those.
So the two at this point, this thing stands up tall. It's now taller than the stone that fell. All of you can make me either a nature or arcana check to see if you recognize what this thing is.
Oh my god, both of those are bad for me.
Same.
I have 0 on both.
13.
Ooh, natural 1.
Oh shit.
19.
16.
Okay, anyone above a 15 recognizes this as a Zorn, spelled Xorn. You know that these are creatures native to the elemental plane of Earth. And somebody who rolled Deadly, you rolled a 19, didn't you?
I know, because he's so. Yeah,
That's right, Caesar, you rolled a 19. Yeah, so you know that Zorn are elemental travelers. They possess the power of the elemental earth, and they can glide through stone and dirt as easily as a fish swims through water. And it doesn't displace the earth or stone when it moves, but merges with it and flows through it, leaving no tunnel or hole. They prefer not to leave their home plane, where they can easily eat their fill of gemstones and precious metals, and any who wind up on the material plane are usually by accident or from curiosity. You also know that generally Zorn will scour the earth for precious metals and stones. This is what they eat to survive. They can't consume organic material, and they tend to ignore most other creatures.
Okay.
But the smell of like metals and precious stones will often draw it to adventurers who are carrying coins and gems.
Oh, shit.
You with the 19, you do know that they are quite often, they're more willing to trade than fight if possible. They might beg for sustenance if they're starving instead of like fighting, but if they become enraged or overly hungry, they might be driven to fight. So this thing stands up. You see that sort of golden eye peering around at each of you, and as it sort of realizes that there are people here, it sort of shrinks down. You can see it taking a defensive posture, but it doesn't move.
Okay.
Oh, also, sorry, for the two of you, because obviously you both rolled above both of you rolled above 15, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was a 16.
Yeah, you know this thing does not speak common. It speaks, like, even you would know something from the elemental plane of Earth. This thing speaks a language called Terran.
I'm sorry, how do all of us speak all these different languages and we've not come across anything that's spoken?
But no one speaks fucking anything.
I mean, in your defense, the elemental languages, Terran, Aqua, Orin, and Ignin, they are extremely uncommon and tend to only be spoken of natives of those planes. So things like the Jinn would speak Orin, and the Dao would speak Terran. But there are very few, like, what you would consider intelligent races who speak them. And there's going to be next to nobody on the material plane who speaks them.
So, what are we gonna do? It doesn't look like it wants to attack.
No, it's an elemental.
If you would like to, obviously you knowing more about it, you can, if you would like, roll an insight check to see if you can get a read on its body language. Nobody else here knows enough about them to see this three-legged, one-eyed, gaping mod creature to read its body language, but
that
rolled high enough that he
is a 21.
Okay, this thing's scared and injured. You're pretty sure it coming crashing down on a meteor wasn't in its to-do list today, and it is hurt.
It doesn't want to hurt us, it's scared. It usually isn't any harm to any of us, it feeds on gems and metals.
Okay.
I'm
gonna,
It looks injured.
Wipe my hand through my spell, cancel it, and then, back away, but not, to try and catch his attention, just so I can, call over Gilliana and Sinclair and be like, come over here.
Do you guys go over?
I will drop my axe on the floor and try and show that I'm not harmed to this creature.
its eyes follow the axe, and you see a great, long, scaly tongue sort of like licking what would be its lips when it looks at it.
No.
What is that thing, Sinclair? Why are they telling us to come over? Shouldn't they just be coming over here?
I don't know what the red scaly thing that fell from the sky is.
Oh gosh, I don't
I
know
wasn't
either.
trained for this.
Flicking through his manual. It isn't in the manual.
This isn't in the Paladin's handbook.
Oh gosh, maybe we should go over.
Okay, should we approach slowly?
Yeah, should we stealth over?
We could give it a go.
Or I'll go one way, you go the other way.
Pincer movement.
I like it. Let's do that.
I'll stealth round a bit towards them, but like stealthy.
Okay. I'm not going to make you roll for this. You guys, the two of you nearby, see this like tongue sort of like flick out and like almost like it's tasting the air, and you see this thing's eye sort of flick one way and the other, and it's tracking the approach of Giliana and Sinclair. Cazisel, you know that.
Just a point.
Cazisel, you know that this thing can pinpoint by scent the location of precious metals and stones, such as coins and gems within 60 feet.
Isn't Katsiso just a massive gemstone anyway?
He is, and well, he's also got not just that. He's got like the floating gemstones
one
in particular, but also the two of you are carrying or wearing a lot of metal.
I am heavily armoured. I have a gem on my sword. I am a tasty snack.
I'm covered in jewellery, so this is not good for me.
I'm gonna try and because do Sinclair and Giliana know that it can smell them?
No.
So I'm gonna be
we don't know shit.
I'm gonna try and
the two of them are sneaking, but you two don't know where the two of them are, but you can see this thing's eyes flicking off to the side of the two of you, like it's tracking something that's away from you.
This is not good.
Yeah, you because obviously you had a very good read on its body language as its eyes are flicking off to the two sides, because you guys said you were going in different directions. You could tell it gets it crouches a little bit lower and gets a little bit tenser, as if it's it's afraid that more things are coming at it and it might have to fight.
Does it comprehend common language, or is it?
No, the only language it knows is Terran. Oh, also I completely forgot. Never mind the treasure sense that it has, which is what that thing's called. It also just has tremor sense. So literally, as soon as you guys step foot on the ground, it knows you're there.
Yeah, that's great for the heavily armoured, very heavy guy.
It's like tremors. No.
It's the armor. It's sensing you through that.
I don't know what I could. I assume I know it can't understand me, right? Or
you don't, but Cecil does, because
Okay.
he rolled a 19.
I'm gonna get.
But I will say this, because you knew enough to know what it was and where it came from. You would have a vague knowledge that things from the elemental plane of Earth mostly speak Terran, the elemental plane of Earth language.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be sharing this information as well.
I'm gonna slowly not get too close to the edge, but so it can see me.
I can definitely see you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna slowly wave, and then be "We," pointing at myself, mean no harm with jazz hands, trying to interpretive dance that we're not hostiles, but I don't know if that's going to have any effect.
It's it narrows its one eye and it sees you doing what essentially interpretive dance. Whenever Sinclair and Giliana, whenever you get close enough, are you coming up beside the other two, or are you trying to circle round it? What was your plan in terms of where you're going?
Round the back.
Yeah, we're sort of sneaking around to the other side of it.
Okay. Once you two, Twilight, this thing's sort of narrowed its eyes, it's watching you, but you still see every so often its eye flicks one way or the other, and it's tracking further and further to the point where it's having to turn its head to look. Once the two of you get to the halfway point where it's almost a triangle, you haven't got around the back of it yet, but as soon as this thing realizes that it has to turn the whole way, the one way or the other, to see the two of you, it narrows its eyes at Twilight once more, and then just sinks into the ground like it stood on a puddle and just slips into the
Oh
ground.
no.
Okay, when it does that, I'm gonna go. Can I shout?
Yeah,
to-
absolutely.
What the hell is that thing?
One of the two people who knows what it is probably explain.
I'm gonna yell. It's like it's a weird, like
It's
alien.
it's an elemental. It's from
It's from, it's from Earth.
it travels through the earth.
Sinclair is tightly gripping his sword.
It likes metal and gems, which we're covered in.
Okay. I'm gonna grab my bow and arrow because that's not metal. Well, it has a little metal. Well, the least metal thing I
It's-
have.
And I'll say to everyone, it's more scared than wanting to fight. It doesn't want to fight us. It's just scared. I mean, it thinks there's more coming.
It's scared. I'm scared.
I'm bloody terrified.
I mean, at least we know one weakness, which is interpretive dance.
Oh.
Oh, we're going to die.
Guys, I'm just going to point out, there's nothing stopping you from leaving.
I'm here now.
Just leave.
Should we just
And
leave, guys?
Yeah, maybe we could just go.
Yeah, Gillian, Sinclair is going to look towards you and sort of go, sort of mouth, back to the cart.
Gillian's gonna hold her thumbs up and go, "See you there," and like just
you
run
gonna
as fast as possible.
Yeah, and then Sinclair
Yeah.
sprints it as well.
Okay, do we see them sprint? Because obviously they mouth to each other, but not being.
Oh, they
consistent.
they went past the two of you to try and get around this thing. So as soon as they sort of stand up out of their secretive crouch and start sprinting, they have to go past the two of you. You see them run past the two of you.
Okay, I'm gonna join. I'm gonna run too.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up my hand axe and just cautiously back off.
Yeah. So you guys make it back to the cart. Is everyone just fully intent on getting on the cart and leaving, or is anyone keeping an eye for where this thing
No.
was?
I was just gonna check the cart quick to see if anything's in like.
Make sure that this 10-foot tall creature wasn't hanging to the underside of the cart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
well, while Gilliana's doing that, Sinclair is checking the horses because he's like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Let's get the fuck.
I'm slowly backing up, just keeping my eyes on it.
Yeah, horses are fine, cart's fine. This thing isn't hanging off the bottom of the
Okay.
wagon.
I jump in.
Because Cecil, I'm not going to make you re-roll a check because, like you've said specifically, you're backing up. You see it as everyone starts climbing onto the cart. You just see this thing's mouth and eye poke back out, as if someone's poking their eyes out above the level of a water or something, and it just sees you all clambering onto the cart, and then it just dips back into the ground again in the exact same position it was before. It hadn't moved. You suspect it's probably just trying to hide from you all at this point.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be followed by this thing. It's hiding from us.
Okay. Right. Maple syrup, patch. Let's go. And I'm gonna thingy the reins. I don't know what it's called. Yeah, that.
All right, do you guys head back to where your camp was before, which is a couple of miles away? Or bear in mind at this point, it's only been a few hours. It's probably very early morning, maybe 1 or 2 in the morning.
Back to camp? Or carry on?
I say we find camp somewhere else. And about everyone else, I'm a bit unnerved, I must admit.
Okay, we'll find a new camp.
You guys head further up the road, and at this point, by the time you've got back and set up, you can't. It's easily 2 in the morning. You're not going to get a full night's rest, but you can take what is essentially sort of a short rest. And just in case, everyone is going to take a level of exhaustion.
Do I have to take that? How long's the
You wouldn't
rest?
have had a full 4 hours of sleep yet, unfortunately.
Okay.
I did warn you. So you're all going to take 1 level of exhaustion for now. But provided that nothing happens the next day, that will only last for the 1 day. But I'm just making take it just in case we roll another danger number. But now that one's off the list, we can't roll that one again.
Good.
Oh, by the way, just so you're all aware, that one was Twilight's fault because we did roll the 69. That was why. That was where that one
Nice.
came
Well,
from. So that was day 2.
So that was nice.
Yeah, that was your nice. That was your 69. So moving on to the next day, as you continue traveling, Oh, that one was so close. So close. That was an 89, not an 88. So the day goes by fine. And on your second night at camp, so many of these are getting so close. That was a 94, but you just rolled the danger number from Kazisa was 95. So you have your second night's camp, or this will be your third night now. So your third night's camp, and you set up your watches as normal, and everything goes fine. So you wake up the next morning fully refreshed, and you can all get rid of that level of exhaustion again.
Oh.
Nothing happens. As you get into the fourth day, the landscape begins to change. It becomes slightly more hilly, more rocky. It's not like barren or arid, but there's more like large, like stone, rocky formations sort of sticking out of the ground. The river moves; it's widening a bit more and becoming a bit more rough as you head uphill now. So on the fourth day, the day goes by fine, and you continue on heading north. And the night's fine again. You manage to pass the night with nothing happening.
Going pretty well.
So on the sixth day, something occurs.
The elemental's back.
Jeez.
As you are moving into the more like hilly upland region. Oh, by the way, this one was Gilliana's fault, so you can thank her for this one.
Which one? Which number?
This was 28.
Fuck.
So, you guys, you're walking through this like upland region, and you've just pulled the wagon over towards the river as you needed to like refill your water skins and stuff, and you found a location where there's the land slopes down gently. So a couple of larger like rock formations that overlook this section of the river. They're not particularly tall, maybe only 9-10 feet, but you've sort of found your way into this little cleft between them that leads down to the river. And as you've pulled the wagon up, you've sort of tied the horses up while you sort out your water skins and just refresh. You hear a odd laughter echoing over the stones.
Oh.
And standing on top of the stones next to you are what appear to be some very large hyena-looking creatures standing on two legs.
Jesus.
So who wants a pet hyena?
As well as a hyena.
Oh.
And a hyena. Oh,
and
no.
a hyena. They've been lying in wait at this section of the river, and they sort of pop up on top of these stones, looking down on each of you. And what I'm actually going to do is give each of you a perception check to see if you could hear them and prepare yourselves before they moved in close enough to attack.
Perception. 18.
I got 6.
I got
a 2.
I got a 5.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So just me, the useless one.
So, Twilight, as you knelt by the river filling up your water skin, you hear like a scratching, a scrabbling on the rock, and a few rocks bounce down next to you, and it's just enough time for you to turn and draw your weapon, your spell focus, whatever it is you want to draw, as you see this like hyena creature looking over the top of the stone down towards you. And we're going to enter initiative. Twilight will be the only person to act in the surprise round.
Okay, cool.
Shit.
Well, that's it for another episode. Thanks for sticking with us. As usual, I'd like to thank Lixie B and Jeff for the wonderful logo and character art they created for us, the Storm Weather Shanty Choir for letting us use their song Drunken Sailor as our theme tune, DN Dice for sponsoring us, and all of our wonderful Patreon supporters who have been helping us out. Now, I'm actually a little bit annoyed with myself this week. When I was recently updating all of the logos for our recommended podcasts on our website, which, by the way, if you haven't had a look at the website, we have updated it recently, I realised that there was a podcast that I thought was in our recommended list, and I thought I had recommended them a long time ago because I had fully intended to, but I hadn't. So I'm making up for that now, and I'm recommending the Multiclass Theatre podcast. These guys have been good friends of the show for a long time, and I'm genuinely upset with myself that I haven't recommended them yet. They're a great listen, they're a fun group, They are another standard sort of D&D 5e podcast, and they're just a really enjoyable listen. They're a fun party who get on well with another, they have great chemistry, and they're telling a phenomenal story, which I can't recommend enough. And I'm not just saying this because they implemented the Dead Wizard's Tower adventure that I wrote into their main story. It's a bonus, but it's not the only reason I'm recommending them. But that is the Multiclass Theatre podcast. I have got links for all of their stuff in the description, so please, please, please go and check them out. I need to make up for the fact that I had not done this about 2 years ago. Other than that, there is one little bit of news. Grady, who runs DN Dice, who sponsors our podcast, as you'd be well aware at this point, I hope, he has opened a separate side business, but a separate business. He has opened a physical tabletop and card gaming shop in Loughborough. Obviously, I imagine for the vast majority of our listeners, in fact, probably all of our listeners, unless you are very specifically in or around the East Midlands, this will not affect you in any way whatsoever. But Grady has opened a physical shop called the Church of the D20. It's a great little place. I've been in a couple times already. In fact, I'm proud to say that I was his first customer in his physical shop, where I bought the Curse of Strahd revamped, which I've been looking to get my hands on for a while. And I hope that if any of our listeners are in and around the East Midlands, they will call in to his shop and, tell him we sent you and just, support the shop, buy some things from him. Obviously, with him also running DN Dice, it has the largest selection of DN Dice products of any physical shop in the UK. So, even if you're not from the East Midlands, if you're coming through this way, or if you just really, really like his stuff, make the trek, come into Loughborough. I know it's a tourist trap and all that, but definitely come and have a look if you have the opportunity. Other than that, we actually don't have a promo to listen to this week. I've actually managed to run through the entirety of my backlog of promos at this point, so I will be reaching out to some other podcasts. In fact, if you're listening to this and you have your own podcast and we haven't run your promo yet, or you have a new promo, or you want to promote a new season, drop me a message. We need some new promos to put in, and I will be badgering a bunch of the people that I do listen to get them in at some point. But other than that, that's it for this week's episode. Thanks for sticking with us, and we'll see you soon.